Hey, Carol, good to hear from you. Yes, I've got the coastline, Miami Beach, Key Biscayne, just beautiful sections of why tourists flock to South Florida. We hope that everybody comes back because the water is still fine.
Are the roads open into Miami and Miami Beach?
Today, they opened up all the causeways leading into Miami Beach. Some of the bridges are down, some of the bridges are up. But the good news is that we've got a curfew at night, so to protect everybody and make sure that there's no looting. But during the day, it's not business as usual because very few businesses are open. Most of the folks are complaining about lack of gasoline stations. The lines are just so long, Carol, and we're among those folks. We fueled up early, but you run around your district and you run out of fuel. So the lines are horribly long, and the lack of power. We don't even have water because we're not hooked up to the county system. So I've never been so glad to be leaving for D.C. as I will be tomorrow afternoon. First flight out is at 3 p.m. I'm on it.
I don't blame you at all. Governor Scott says there are 30,000 electric crews from out of state coming in to help restore power in the state of Florida. I've heard there are 20,000 electric crews in the state of Florida. That's 50,000 crews. It's just astounding, but still 6 million people without power. How long is it going to take?
I think that I'm telling my constituents we're in it for the long haul. Don't expect that you're going to get power overnight. We hear these numbers, and we hear them over the radio where we're listening to TV through the radio, and people are getting their hopes up thinking, oh, with all of those crews, I'll have electricity by today, by tomorrow at the latest. It's going to take an awfully long time, and they're hooking up senior centers and assisted living facilities and places like that as well. They should be. So if you're living in suburbia, just hang on, and this is just a good reminder of how Florida was back in the old days. Mosquitoes, hot, and no electricity.
Oh, my goodness. I have to ask you about money to recover, because you're going to go back to D.C., and you're going to be fighting for every dollar so that you can help people in your state recover. How much damage do you think there has been in dollar amount?
Well, it's really difficult to estimate that, Carol, because your previous reporter there was reporting from Orlando about all of the medical equipment going to the Keys, and that's Congressman Curbello's district. I represented the Keys for 10 years, and I tell you, people don't like to evacuate, so we don't know how what the damage is like there, and it's too early now to say this was our price tag. But I'm confident that in a bipartisan manner, our congressional colleagues will step up and help us fund disaster relief. And we thank all of the volunteers who have come from all over the nation to help us out. So we're going to get through this. And just like Houston said, Houston strong, this is Miami strong. We can live up to this challenge.
Do you think that President Trump will continue to work with Democrats to get people the things they need?
Well, no, what's wrong with bipartisanship? I know that there's criticism. I can't believe that we live in a time when working with Democrats is thought of as an evil thing. People expect us to govern. They expect us to govern responsibly. And I think that any time you can get government to function, and that's what people expect, is governance from government officials, then that's the right thing to do. And there's time for sniping later on, but we've funded the government through and all of the services through December, et cetera, and hiked the debt limit. And those are good things, whatever it takes to get us to governing effectively.
Congresswoman, you know that some members of the Freedom Caucus, they're concerned about the debt in this country, and some of them will probably balk at just voting for whatever bill comes down the pike with a dollar amount in it.
You're so right, Carol, and that's why we need a long-term solution to this crisis of FEMA funding and SBA funding and HUD funding for emergencies. It's not like a parking meter where you park your car and, well, the meter runs out, so you have to fill it again. We're going to have natural catastrophes, whether it's wildfires, storms, snow, or hurricanes or tornadoes. Always, we should have a stable source for funding for FEMA. And you're right, our colleagues are are not happy